And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the heart of the Inland Empire, right here in sunny Southern California, it's Robert Cardoza Live, where we talk about politics, money, and you. This is the intersection of business and politics. And now here's your host, Robert Cardoza.
And welcome aboard. I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to the intersection of business and politics right here on Robert Cardoza Live, where I do an honest, unbiased analysis of the issues confronting you today that affect the decisions that you're going to make for both your personal and your business life. I come to you every Monday through Friday on Spreaker Radio, Roar, 1776 Radio, and MyCast Live Radio from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Also on 405 Media Radio Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Pacific Time. And also, the Pundit Press, PNN Talk Radio, and SHR Media Radio with the Conservative Syndicate every Monday and Friday from 3:30 to 4 p.m. Pacific Time, in addition to countless terrestrial stations worldwide. Please follow me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, Podomatic, and YouTube, where you can listen to all of my shows 24/7. Go to my website at www.robertcardozalive.com for archives of all my radio and television shows. You can also access my show live right from my website each day simply by clicking on that little icon labeled Listen Live. Email me at robertcardozalive@gmail.com. Is where I get all the emails I deal with here on the show. And you can call into my show if you want to comment or just engage me in conversation about anything. Call directly into the studio at 909-545-6516. Again, that number, 909-545-6516. Now, on today's show, we're going to discuss what's in the news, new legislation the IRS loses, and I'm going to answer your emails just like I always do. On today's special segments, a simulcast with John Matthews and the Conservative Syndicate, and also John Hanson, that little old wine drinker. He's going to be talking about food and wine. But right now, I want you to stand by for news. And right off at 3:03 p.m. Pacific Time, it is currently 65 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, you know what? I want to encapsulate the news for you a little bit just so that we can get in a lot of things and you'll know what's going on in the world today before we actually get cooking with too much stuff. You know what? Basically, what this is are the 10 things that you need to know for today, Monday. Your daily look at late-breaking news, upcoming events, and the stories that will be talked about all day today and tomorrow. And first up is Myanmar awaits results after a historic election. Opposition leader Aung San Suu Kyi's party is expected to win easily, but its road to forming a government remains filled with hurdles. And what casts a shadow on Hawaii's image of paradise? Well, homelessness is on the rise in the state, which has 487 homeless per 100,000 people, the nation's highest rate per capita, according to federal statistics, and how climate change could aggravate poverty. Global warming could push more than 100 million people into extreme poverty by the year 2030 by disrupting agriculture and fueling the spread of disease, the World Bank says. Well, Ben Carson bristles at questions about his past. The GOP candidate says increased scrutiny over his life story is designed to distract the populace and to distract him. Well, student protests escalate over the University of Missouri's racial incidents. Demonstrations are on the rise months after black students groups began complaining of racial slurs and other slights on the overwhelmingly white 35,000 student campus. Well, where airport security is raising concerns, security lapses at Egypt's Sharm el-Sheikh airport draw more attention as investigators probe the October 31st crash of a Russian airliner that killed all 224 on board after it left the airport. And with the handshake, a possible thaw in the China-Taiwan relations. The meeting between China's Xi Jinping and Taiwan's Ma Ying-jeou could signal a fundamental shift between the fending neighbors. Well, 50 years later, reflecting on the Northeast blackout, the massive power failure plunged New York City, Boston, and the entire region into darkness, affecting up to 30 million people for several hours on November the 9th, 1965. One of John Lennon's guitars nets $2.4 million at an auction. The Gibson acoustic was used to record I Want to Hold Your Hand and other hits. And finally, Clemson claims the top spot on the Associated Press's poll. The undefeated Tigers knock Ohio State from the number 1 ranking for the first time this season. Well, you know what? Let's talk about the news in a little more in depth. You know, Obama, Netanyahu, they minimize differences and renew the call for peace. Minimizing sharp differences, President Barack Obama and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu reaffirmed their commitment to seeking a elusive Middle East peace. Today, though, prospects for an agreement between Israelis and Palestinians appear ever further out of reach. The United States and Israeli leaders meeting at the White House marked the first time that they had talked face-to-face in more than a year. They have long had a frosty relationship, and tensions peaked earlier this year amid Obama's pursuit of an Iran nuclear deal that Netanyahu vigorously opposed. Today's meeting was an attempt to reset ties for the final year of Obama's presidency. In comments to reporters before their private talks, they sidestepped their disagreement on Iran, with Obama calling it a narrow issue. Netanyahu didn't mention the matter at all. We don't have a disagreement on the need to making sure Iran does not get a nuclear weapon, and we don't have a disagreement about us blunting destabilizing activities in Iran that may be taking place. Obama said, so we're going to be looking to make sure that we find common ground in that area. You know what? And shouldn't we? We have been an ally of Israel for too many years to let that go. I suppose today's meeting could be called a renewal of peace between Israel and the United States. And the University of Missouri president leaves over race complaints. The president of the University of Missouri system resigned today, with the football team and others on campus in open revolt over what they saw as his indifference to racial tensions at the school. President Tim Wolf, a former business executive with no previous experience in academic leadership, took full responsibility for the frustration that students expressed and said their complaints were clear and real. For months, black student groups had complained that Wolf was unresponsive to racial slurs and other slights on the overwhelmingly white flagship campus of the state's four-college system. The complaints came to a head 2 days ago when at least 30 black football players announced that they would not play until the president was gone. A graduate student went on a week-long hunger strike. Wolf's announcement came at the start of what had been expected to be a lengthy closed-door meeting of the school's governing board. This is not the way change comes about, he said, alluding to recent protests in a halting statement that was simultaneously apologetic, clumsy, and defiant. We stopped listening to each other. Now, do not go away, because when we come back, I'm going to talk to you about 2 Americans among 5 killed in a rare Jordan police shooting. And I'll tell you all about that right after these brief messages. Do not go away.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And as I said before, we're going to talk about 2 Americans among 5 that were killed in a rare Jordan police shooting. And this is from Amman, Jordan. A Jordanian police captain opened fire today on instructors at an international police training center in Jordan's capital, killing at least 5 people, including 2 Americans, before being shot dead by security forces. It was not clear if there was a political motive to the shooting spree, which also wounded 6 people, including 2 Americans. But concern has swirled in staunchy pro-Western Jordan over possible revenge attacks by Islamic militants since the country assumed a high-level role in the U.S.-led military campaign against the Islamic State extremist group, which controls large areas of neighboring Syria and Iraq. The unprecedented assault inside a Jordanian security compound also raised questions about the kingdom's image as an island of relative stability in a turbulent region. The shooting took place at the Jordan International Police Training Center in Amman, where Jordanian and foreign instructors, including Americans, have trained thousands of police officers from the Palestinian territories and other parts of the Arab world in recent years. Let's hope that that's going to be more the exception than the rule. Well, a body cam showed no threats as police killed the boy. Well, a police body camera recorded the father of a 6-year-old autistic boy with his hands up and posing no threat as the police fired into his car, severely wounding the motorist and killing his son. The man's lawyer said today, "This was not a threatening situation for the police," said Mark Jenson, an attorney for Chris Few, who remained hospitalized and could not attend today's funeral of his son, Jeremy Mardis. Derek Stafford, 32 years old, of Mansoura, and Norris Greenhouse, Jr., 23, of Marksville, were ordered held on $1 million bond today on second-degree murder and attempted second-degree murder charges, Jenson said. The lawyer said he hasn't seen the video himself, but its contents were described during the hearing. Louisiana State Police Chief Colonel Mike Edmondson said Friday that it's the most disturbing thing I've seen, and I will leave it at that. Few's condition was improving today, but he had not been told as of midday that his son is dead. Jenson said that his father just doesn't know. His stepfather, Morris German, said last week that Few had bullet fragments in his brain and lung. You know, it's just, we keep hearing more and more of this. Is this a discriminatory problem? Is this a police power problem? Or is this a training problem? Don't you think it's about time we got to the bottom of this and dealt with it appropriately? Well, Sue's Key Party heads for a sweep in Myanmar's historic vote. The party of opposition leader Aung San Suu Kyi claimed victory today in virtually every seat in 4 states where results of Myanmar's historic parliamentary election were known, signaling a sweep that could give it the presidency and further loosen the military stronghold. The announcement at the headquarters of the National League for Democracy set off a new round of jubilation among the party's red-shirted supporters who already had been celebrating the result of Sunday's vote. The NLD said it had won 44 of the 45 lower house seats and all 12 of the upper house seats from the party stronghold in Yangon, Myanmar's biggest city. It also won all 38 seats in Irrawaddy State, all but one of the 40 in Bago and 11 of the 19 lower house seats and all 10 upper house seats in Mon State. The trend was expected to continue in Myanmar's remaining 10 states. Even without official results, it was clear that the Union Solidarity Development Party was facing a rout. The party is made up former junta members who ruled the Southeast Asian country for a half century and as a quasi-civilian government since 2011. Many of its leaders conceded personal defeats in their races. Well, I guess so. I think, you know what? People are getting tired of it, right? Just like people here are getting tired of our government. Or at least the representatives, not the government. Well, SeaWorld says it will end orca shows in San Diego, California by the year 2017. SeaWorld will end orca shows at its San Diego park after visitors at the tourist attraction made it clear they prefer seeing killer whales act naturally rather than doing tricks, the company top executive said today. CEO Joel Mandy told investors of the park where the iconic Shamu show featuring killer whales doing flips and other stunts debuted decades ago will offer a different kind of orca experience, focusing on the animal's natural setting and behavior starting in 2017. Animals rights activists called the move a marketing gimmick and want the company to phase out holding any whales in captivity. At the end of SeaWorld's tawdry circus-style show is inevitable and necessary, but it's captivity that denies these far-ranging orcas everything that is natural and important to them, said Jared Goodman of the People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. This move is like no longer whipping lions in a circus act, but keeping them locked inside cages for life. You know what? I don't know what to say. They want to say that they're treating these whales humanely, but the rest of the world doesn't seem to think so. So I think it's just a big company trying to get away with something. Well, finally, European Union warns of refugee catastrophe as winter closes in. The European Union warned today of a looming humanitarian catastrophe with tens of thousands of people traveling through the Balkans to northern Europe as winter closes in. More than 770,000 people have arrived in the European Union by sea so far this year, overwhelming border authorities and reception facilities. Many have made the arduous land journey on foot through the Balkans in search of sanctuary or work in countries like Germany or Sweden. The European Union's 28 member nations have pledged to provide experts and funds to help manage the emergency and to share refugees among them. But the resources have been painfully slow in coming. Now, do not go away, because when we come back, I'm going to deal with the IRS loses. In the first case up, one spouse can contest the other's innocence even after death. And I'll tell you all about that right after these brief messages. Do not go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make the interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
The story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Oh yeah, here we are, my favorite part of the show, the IRS loses. You know what? And this part of the show just kind of sends chills up and down my spine. Let's get right to it and not waste any time. First of all, in this case, one spouse can contest the other's innocence even after death. Let me tell you about it. The IRS assessed tax on a joint return filed by a couple who had since divorced. Now, the wife said that she was an innocent spouse and that the tax bill was due entirely to her husband, so he alone should be liable for it. The IRS, as required by law, sought to inform the husband to enable him to intervene to defend his interest in the innocent spouse proceeding, but he had died. So here's the question. Did the right to intervene die with the husband, or did it pass to his estate in heirs? Here's what the tax court said. Since the husband's survivors may be harmed by the wife's claim, the right to intervene passes to them. The IRS must make an effort to find and notify each of them. Makes sense to me. How about this? The IRS loses. Position that was initially reasonable became unreasonable. Here's the case. A woman defeated the IRS in court and asked the court to order the IRS to pay her legal fees. The IRS answered that its position had been reasonable in the case, so it shouldn't owe the fees. So she went to court. This is what the judge said. The IRS's position in the case originally was reasonable, but after new facts were developed in court, the IRS's central office that specializes in this kind of dispute advised the IRS litigators to concede. So instead, they continued to pursue the case. At that point, the IRS's position became unreasonable. Therefore, the woman is entitled to have it pay the legal fees and that she incurred after that reasonable area got passed. So, that's the way it, fair is fair no matter who it is, right? That's exactly right. How about this? The IRS loses. A late receipt of a tax notice gives extra chance to appeal. Let me tell you about it. The IRS sent a deficiency notice to a couple giving them 90 days to go to tax court to fight a tax bill. But they had moved and received the notice only 12 days before the deadline. When they didn't file in court, the IRS acted to collect the tax. The couple then asked for a collection due process hearing to argue against the tax bill on the merits, but the IRS said that they had lost the right to fight the tax when they didn't go to court, and that they should be allowed to discuss only how to pay this bill at the hearing. This is what the judge said. 12 days is not enough time to file a case in court, so the IRS must listen to and consider the merits of the couple's case at the hearing. That's exactly the way it should be. The IRS just tries to be unreasonable sometimes and intractable at times. That's not the way it's supposed to be. Now, you've heard me talk about being a fly on the wall when the IRS is doing stuff. Well, that's where we're at right now with Inside the IRS. Oh, yeah, here we are inside the IRS. These are not tax court cases, but these are issues where the IRS is taking precedence, and you need to be aware of them so that you can defend yourself. In the first case up, tax preparers illegally claiming the earned income credit are the newest IRS targets. Let me tell you about it. According to the IRS, 70% of tax returns claiming the credit are prepared by professionals. There is a significant amount of abuse as preparers pad their fees by making up numbers permitting taxpayers to get refunds for the earned income credit, for which they don't qualify. How this increases the preparer's income? Well, these preparers not only charge for the tax return preparation, but also receive fees from lending institutions for arranging tax refund loans at very high interest rates for their low-income clients. Fees are based on the size of the loan and therefore on the size of the refund. Now, the IRS's approach, certain tax preparers who have been identified by the IRS will be visited during the year and shut down if violations are detected. You know what? And that's the way it ought to be. Absolutely. Now, we're going to go on a commercial break, and when we come back, we're kind of playing with the timing a little bit. We're not really sure how this is going to work out, but we're going to be doing a simulcast with my good buddy, John Matthews and the Conservative Syndicate. We'll be right back after these brief messages, and hopefully with John Matthews. We're scheduled to be back with him at about 3:35, so I'll probably come back on before John does. So don't go away. We'll be right back after these brief messages.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson & Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson & Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson & Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson & Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics, where it is currently 3:32 p.m. Pacific time, and it's 65 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, we're going to be simulcasting with my good buddy John Matthews in about 3 minutes, and as soon as he comes on, we will try and put this cast together. We'll be doing all of our stations, he'll be doing all of his stations, and we'll be doing it together. So I'm looking forward to that. In the meantime, you know what? Let me tell you about a little tax news that you need to know about. It's talking about a fast-track audit dispute resolution is being extended to small businesses and self-employeds. Fast-track cases are mediation-like procedures to settle legal and factual disputes in an audit before the IRS auditor finalizes its result by issuing a 30-day letter. The IRS seeks to settle fast-tracked issues in only 40 days, much faster than under normal audit rules. Now, fast-track procedures already are used by the IRS with large businesses and have been very successful at speeding voluntary settlements. Fast-track for small businesses is now being tested for a period of 6 months in Chicago, Houston, and St. Paul, after which the IRS hopes to expand it. Well, we'll see what actually happens with that. We'll be with, now we're just kind of killing a little bit of time. We're waiting for my good buddy, John Matthews to call in. When John calls in, we're going to be trying our best to do this simulcast. This is something new for John and I. We're going to be doing it 2 days a week, every Monday and Friday from around 3:35 to 4 o'clock. And, you know, I'm just excited about it. This is something new. Technologically, John and I have to work out, I'm sure, some bugs with it. But he'll be getting to that, real doggone quick, I'm pretty sure. So we'll see what actually comes to pass with it. The biggest problem with it is going to be for us to figure out how we're going to get our commercials in. So I think what I'm going to do is when John goes to a commercial, he has shorter commercials than me. When he comes back on the line, I'm just simply going to stop my commercials and for that point, and we'll see what actually transpires at that point. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to John calling in. You know what? He's always got a great great thing going on. And I think us getting together twice a week will be a format that you really, really will enjoy. Now, today is the actual first time, and so I find myself talking a great deal, trying to get this whole thing really kind of resolved, and we will. It'll be no sweat about that. But I'm looking forward to it. My guess is John's going to call in here in about 30 seconds, and when he does, we're going to go live, and that'll be a good thing for us. So we keep plugging in there, see if his clock is tuned into my clock, and that'll work out good for all of us. Now, I want to also remind you that right after John's segments, we're going to have a couple segments with John. We'll have our own John Hanson, that little old wine drinker, will be here. He's to be talking about food and wine, and he's always a good guest to be talking to. So here we are with my own John Matthews and his Conservative Syndicate. Hey, John, are you sitting out there?
Yes, we are. We're here. Joe and I are both here.
Oh, Joe's with you too. Hey, Joe, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, Bob, I'm doing great. Glad that we could hit your show today, brother.
Well, you know what? I'm glad I got your show. I don't get to listen to your show very, very often, especially now that you're on at the same time I'm on. This is going to be fantastic. Not only do I get to listen to your show, all my listeners get to listen to your show, and then all of your listeners get to listen to mine for at least 2 days a week.
Yeah, this is an interesting experiment, something that you just don't see happening in this day and age.
Well, the interesting thing.
So I believe we are your guest today, Bob. So what is it you want to talk about?
Well, you know what? There's a lot of things to talk about, but the first thing on the menu is that Netanyahu's visiting your good buddy Obama in the White House today, trying to make friends again. Are you been keeping up with that?
I did.
Now, hey, Joe, do you have your own missile system?
Well, that's one of those situations that we certainly want to be a fly on the wall. What do you think, Joe?
I would love to buy my own missile system. I think I would find places to use it.
Well, you know what? Instead of talking about him, because I find both of them kind of boring, we know what's going to happen. We know the United States is not going to turn its back on Israel, nor should it. And we know that Netanyahu is just as strong-minded as Obama is. And I don't think that either one of them are thinking about what's good for peace on earth. I think peace on earth is a concept that I think has left us a long time ago. If you start thinking about the United States, I was thinking about it just yesterday morning. And I was thinking about, gosh, you know what? We had the Revolutionary War, we had the Civil War, we had the Spanish-American War, we had World War I, World War II, we had the Korean War, we had the Vietnam, Afghanistan. Are we a warring nation?
Yes, always. We're at poverty, war on climate, war on polar bears. We're at war on everything.
Man, you know what? It seems to me that what should have happened before we went into Iraq with Saddam Hussein, and before we go after Bashar Assad, what we ought to do is have those people counsel with us on how not to wage a war.
Well, one thing. Let me comment on what you just said here just a moment ago here, Bob.
Yeah.
The one thing that's really, I think, imperative that we understand as Americans is that all the conflicts that we have been involved in since our founding were not brought about by things that we wanted to do. They were brought about by things that people wanted to do to us. And so we do always start out we do fight wars particularly from a defensive posture, but at times we have been in situations where the circumstances have been determined to mean that we need to preempt something. We need to preempt something going on. I think that's what Vietnam was about. I think that's what North Korea was about, where we were in that to try to preempt an expansion of aggression from another country that was contrary to what we were, and we ended up in major conflicts in areas that we probably shouldn't have been in perhaps to begin with. I think that's the same thing that's going on in the Middle East conflict. I can't for the life of me determine or think why somebody sat back in 2000 and decided that Iraq was a threat to us.
It's funny you'd say that because, most of the wars, with the exception of World War I and World War II, most of the wars and the things we got involved in were things that we got involved in a small way, and then we allowed it to escalate and get way out of hand and out of control. Vietnam is one of those, and so is the wars in the Middle East are those, where we should never have gotten involved anyway. And since we did, we should have gone in to win them, which is not what we did at all, and which is a little disheartening, I think.
Well, when you think of it from a historical context, again, I like to keep discussions like this historically contextual, and say, okay, well, here's the situation. Let's take World War I. Nobody in the United States, the American public, did not want to be involved in World War I. We got drug into it because of the economical circumstances of the war that was already in progress. The same thing with World War II. I mean, how long did we refrain from getting involved in World War II? And it wasn't until the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor that somebody had to say, okay, now we're in it, whether we want to be or not. And that war turned us into a superpower. Without World War II, who knows how, maybe we would have become a more isolationist,
yeah. And you're right, except for one issue, and that is when you look historically at wars that we have waged, with the exception of the Civil War that we had, when you look at the wars we've gotten involved in, and I suppose that I have a jaundiced eye when I look at this, because by training I'm an economist, and when I look at wars have been tremendously profitable and tremendously good for the economy every time you see it. And every time we start to move away from a war, you see the economy start to dip. And every time we get back involved in it, the economy starts to go back up again. Now you see Obama, and I got to getting us back in Syria. You've got to know as much as I know, and Joe knows, that we're not going to have just 50 guys on boots on the ground. We got more than that out there anyway, but we're not going to have just 50 boots on the ground. And right now, the Federal Reserve is looking at us and saying, well, you know what? The economy's doing pretty good. I think we're going to raise the interest rate 1/4 of a point. Well, you know what? If they escalate the war in Syria, you watch them backpedal on that.
Yeah, well, I don't know. What do you think, Joe?
I think the war machine is on its way. Yeah, Obama will not put more than 50 boots on the ground. It'll be the guy. It'll be the guy after him, or woman after his presidency, that's going to have to deal with the mess he's creating now. And if the Fed decides to go ahead and raise interest rates, well, yes, you think the economy will zoom right along the way it's just happily going right now. It's sputtering now, and it'll cough, cough, die, and a big puff of smoke will come out of our rear end.
Oh, yeah. So listen, we've got, 4 minutes before we have to go to a commercial break. Is that right, John?
Yeah.
Okay, so before we do that, I wanted to touch bases on what's going on in Syria right now with the downing of this Russian jet, the Metrojet, and the fact that everybody is 95% pretty sure that it was a bomb that brought that down, and that it was ISIS that brought that thing down. And what do you think Putin is actually going to do? Is he going to use this as an excuse to back away from what he was doing in Syria? Or is he going to try and be a hero to his Russian people, his citizens, and go in there and clean house, in which case that would be the best thing that could happen for the United States?
Well, and from my viewpoint, the one thing I can say about Putin right now is I have no idea what this guy's going to do in any given situation. And I'm not saying that to be cynical. I mean, he is just an extremely unpredictable human being. I think he will. But one thing I do know he does do is he weighs everything out, he measures it out, and he says, what can I do and what can I not do? And I think at the forefront of his thought is, how can I make Obama look like a bigger ass than he already looks? I think that has a lot to do with his strategies and why he gets himself involved in certain things.
Well, don't you think that would be his encouragement to, he's already got a base out in Syria. He's already got missile launchers out in Syria. He's already got some boots on the ground. Don't you think that he would be rubbing Obama's nose in it if he just went in there and just obliterated ISIS? If you think about ISIS, there's only about 40,000 members of ISIS. And, at one time, and we had, what, 250,000 troops out there? I mean, how hard would it have been to really wipe out ISIS? I have a feeling that what Putin's going to do is he is going to infiltrate that entire area. He's going to clean ISIS out of there for us, and he's going to say, you know what, the United States couldn't do it, but look what I did.
Well, I think it's going to definitely come down to whether he decides escalating anything in Syria is for a geopolitical advantage, or whether it's the idea of making the United States look weaker than they already do. So whatever decision he does, or whichever way he goes, it's going to be based on one of those two strategies, whichever one would be most advantageous to his agenda. So at this point, it'd be difficult to say. Do you got anything to say, Joe, before we go to break?
I think we're a little too close to a break for me to say anything of any of intelligence on this.
I think it was pre-planned that way, Joe.
I think so, too.
So we got 30 seconds. When we come back, we'll be with our good buddies John Matthews and Joe Hakos from the Conservative Syndicate, and you're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We'll be back in 2 short minutes. Don't go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, General Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. I'm talking to my good buddy John Matthews and his co-host Joe Hakos at the Conservative Syndicate. Guys, you still out there? Oh, they're not. They're still on a commercial break. They'll be with us in just a second. Oh, they're calling back in now. Did you guys hang up on me? Is that what happened?
I'm sorry?
Did you guys hang up on me? Is that how we did this?
We were picking up all your background noise. You were coughing and moving things around and stuff, so we were picking it up on this end. So
actually, I didn't cough or move anything. I actually was away from my desk. I had turned all your sound off.
Well, we now know the glitch. The glitch is we got to figure out how to be able to do our commercials without hearing each other. So,
okay. So I'll tell you what. So let's talk a little technical stuff while we're on the line.
Yeah.
And the truth is that what I've done is I'm running your call through my board. I'm guessing you're doing the same thing. And what I did is I just turned all your sound off on my side coming in. But apparently it didn't stop. But it should have stopped you from hearing anything.
Well, it shut your show sounds off. It shut your commercials off, but it didn't shut you off.
Oh, but I turned my microphone off on this side and got up and left the. Well, okay, listen, we're going to have to do some tests to work this out so we get this thing taken care of.
We'll figure it out. Hey, we warned everybody we were trying something new, so
yeah,
and we figured, we'll figure it out. Anyway, back to your discussion.
Yeah, and yes, absolutely. Back to our discussion, and that was Putin being, one of those guys you just can't read. But I'll tell you what really bothers me, guys, is that if we don't handle this properly, I could really easily see this escalate into a World War III.
Well, I think that's possible. What do you think, Joe? Do you think that's possible?
Well, it's always been that way when we've been dealing with Putin and everything. It started out with the missile defense platform in Poland, and Putin said, "You better not put that over there," and Obama backed down again, and all that fun stuff. But we could have helped out our friends in Poland at that time, and in the Eastern European nations, and made them feel a little better, so they could maybe say no to having to take Putin's oil all the time, so they were warm in the winter. That would be a helpful thing, but no, we didn't do anything like that. So this time, you're wondering if anything we do, we got to watch and use kit gloves when we're dealing with Putin. Well, Putin's going to do what I think he's going to do anyway, which is he's going to retaliate against these people because, for one, it makes them look good there, and also makes us look bad at the same time. So he's going to go ahead and do that.
Yeah. But you know what? I personally would love to see him go in there and kick ass, guys, and us stay the heck out of there. And then when he's all done, then let's go in there and make friends.
Well,
not with Putin.
For me, Putin is a hard read, and I really. It's all pure speculation from my point. If I sit there and say, well, I think he'll do this or do that, I'm not so sure that Putin is so concerned at this point of regaining territory or anything like that. I think he's really looking at the opportunity here with the president that we have to paint himself in a much better place or a much better way before the UN. The UN is something that these leaders of the governments around the world put so much stock into, but the average citizen could care less about. I mean,
I think the average citizen doesn't believe that the UN is functional in any way.
Well, they are, and they're just as corrupt as any government that they claim to be watching over. It's like giving the inmates the keys to the cells.
Yeah.
And so this whole idea, I think Putin recognizes that corruption as something he can use to his advantage, where somebody like Barack Obama looks at it as something that will fulfill an agenda. So I think in that regard, they're kind of, Obama is more of an ideologue, whereas Putin is more of a player. He's more of a politician. How can I use this? He's already got his ideology down. I run the show. Okay.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to question that. Where Obama still has to deal with factions like us who get on the radio and say, hey, the man's a blithering idiot. And you need to know that. So there's Obama uses the UN to try to advance himself, whereas Putin just says, hey, I'm just going to do it because by making America look more foolish every chance I get, it does advance my cause and it does advance my image. And I'm the one that begins to look like the intelligent one instead of the buffoon. So, and again, that's just speculation on my part because this is a really hard situation to read. If Putin goes into Syria and says, you know what, I'll clean up the mess that Barack Obama created, and I'm sure that's the argument that will be pitched, he's going to score some major points because the UN is just as worried about ISIS as everybody else but Obama is.
Yeah.
Well, it remains to be seen. What do you think, Joe?
The UN is, let's see, how can I say this without offending the entire free world?
You can't do that.
Line sack of doggy do. The UN.
Well, you know what? The UN is bought and paid for and useless, and and I don't see that they accomplish anything. And the downside about it is whenever they do make any kind of a decision, it's the United States that has to be the military power to support it and make and give it any kind of teeth.
Absolutely.
So. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
I said that's absolutely right. It's been that way since the beginning. It would have been that way with the League of Nations if we'd have went ahead and had Wilson somehow got the U.S. Senate to ratify us joining that organization, which died on the vine because the United States did not support it. And if we'd stopped supporting the UN, it would die on the vine, and it'd be really nice to get rid of them out of our prime real estate. They're in New York City, and let those guys go to somewhere. Go to France where they really belong. That's where they belong. That's where they need to be, in Paris.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what? We've got 3.5 minutes before we have to say sayonara to each other. And I was wondering what you thought about the controversy that's going on right now with Ben Carson. I mean, are these tall stories in the media going to be his undoing?
No.
Well, I think at this point in time, it's just another hit job. It's their attempt. This is what they're trying to do. So they did this with Herman Cain. How do you take down a black conservative when you can't use the race card? And so you got to do something else. You have to attack their credibility. Herman Cain is a very respectable businessman, has accomplished a lot, and has picked himself up by his own bootstraps. Ben Carson is the same thing. If these two gentlemen were Democrats, the left would be out there every day applauding their efforts to overcome their racial crisis and all the things that they try to attach.
Whoa, Joe! It's his own party that's castigating him.
Well, I look at it like this: there are what some people call fabrications, or as political calls it, contentious statements, in my opinion, are maybe misstatements, misused phrases.
I'll tell you what, I don't think he lied. I believe that it's the context upon which he actually shared some of these things that were going on. I heard somebody say something the other day, and I forget who it was, but, does a black man really have to prove that in his teenage youth that he was a thug? This would be the first time in history, right?
Well, you like I said, you would think that the media would be out there saying, Ben Carson is the stereotypical black man, that he grew up in the ghetto and he grew up with gangs and he grew up, with the worst advantages in the world, and they should be applauding him for being able to overcome that. But that's not the case, because he's a conservative, or he claims to be a conservative. So therefore, we gotta take him down some other way.
Well, if he was a liar, why would he be saying things that, very honestly, are embarrassing to him when you consider the stature that he was able to attain and what he was able to do with his life? Why would he lie that way? If I was going to lie, I'd make myself look better, not worse.
Let's look at it like this: if Barack had a son, he'd look like Ben Carson.
Well, I think there's a difference between lying and opinions, and this the story that Politico put out has already been retracted. It's already been redefined. It's already been reworded so they can continue to say it without actually saying that they lied. The other issues, whether the pyramids were storage bins and stuff like this, who the hell cares? It's just opinion. That's his opinion. Who cares?
Yeah. What does it have to do with how you're going to make America better?
Not a thing. That's why I said no at the beginning.
Yeah. So we got 20 seconds. Joe, this is Joe and John. This was our inaugural broadcast. We're going to be together again on Friday. Hopefully between now and then, you and I can get on the phone and we can figure out how to make this better.
Just let your visitors or your listeners know that they can reach us at theconservativesyndicate.net. We keep our archives there. If you listen to Bob's show every day, you can pick ours up later in an archive. You can go to theconservativesyndicate.net, pick it up there, and do with it as you wish.
And the alternative is RobertCardozalive.com is where you'll find out all about us. Hey, guys, thank you so much, and I'll talk to you on Friday.
All right. Take care, my friend.
All right, guys. Okay. Now, do not go away, because when we come back, we're going to be with our own John Hanson, that little old wine drinker. John is, I'm sure, got a lot of stuff that he wants to talk to us about. I'm anxious to talk to him about it. We'll be right back after these brief messages. Do not go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live, and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make the interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:01 p.m. Pacific time. Currently 65 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, my good buddy John Hansen's waiting in the wings. Let me get his introduction in here and get him on the air.
Who's a fool in the corner crying? I say, a little old wine drink of me.
And now, from the middle of a vineyard somewhere, a man who's never met a grape he couldn't cuddle up to, our resident advanced sommelier, John Hansen.
Hey, John, welcome aboard, my friend. Good to be, hopefully you're out there waiting for me. I know you had some trouble getting through. Let me explain to you why. We started our first simulcast today, and so we actually had 2 separate radio shows going on multiple radio stations at the same time, and so that's what tied up all the lines. So I'm sorry you had any trouble getting through to us.
Oh, no worries at all, Bob. I'm here now. That's the main thing.
That is the main thing. But even more important than that is, how are you feeling?
Well, I tell you, I really got hit hard with that bug. I'm still actually a little remnants actually still here. Still just a little congested, but I went about 2.5 days where I couldn't even talk. And unfortunately, Raina caught the bug too, so she missed the end of last week, and she went to work today, but she's still a little hoarse and still a lot of congestion. But I tell you, that little bug really kicked our butts the last week.
So was it a cold, John, or was it a flu, or what was it?
I think it was the flu because it is going around, and A couple people at work have it. And Brenda, of course, works at the middle school, and that's just like a petri dish.
Oh, that's where you got it, buddy. She brought it home. She brought it home from school and gave it to the person she loves the most in the world, right?
Yes, probably.
So, it was either that or you got a hold of a bad grape somewhere.
I hope not, because I only like to drink some good wine and of course share it with you. And on that note, next Thursday, I will be going to the White House. I don't know what your agenda looks like. I don't know if you maybe want to do like a maiden voyage with the radio show here. And try to do a simulcast at the White House that evening. But we'll be out there. Franco, our good buddy, somebody at the White House, can enjoy a little wine now. He's actually enjoying espressos and wines, and he's back to normal. So I have an actual, it's a tip class that we need to do for work. We have to take and get certified in tips, which is it's a class to let you know when a customer is a little intoxicated, when you should stop serving them and so forth. So we have to do that every 2 years. And so this Thursday, I have a tips class from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. So I don't have to work. So we decided to go to the White House and enjoy a light lunch, or if you want to come down, I can always get the regular time, and just enjoy some wine with Franco and catch up with Franco. And I don't know if you're, thinking about maybe trying to do a maiden voyage somewhere to do the radio show, but I think this would be a great opportunity at our good friends at the White House, where we can try to do maybe a off-premise radio show.
Yeah, it's not enough notice for me to move all the equipment and get all the stuff all set up and do that for this Thursday. But and I'm not sure that I can make it. Let me get back to you tomorrow, and that way we can see if I can get out there and at least meet you with the guys for lunch.
Absolutely, because it's been a while because Franco did become a little ill, and he couldn't enjoy any espresso or wine for about 3 months, and now he's finally back to normal, and he has a lot of catching up to do. So we're going to have a fun day on Thursday, and of course you're more than welcome to join us. And I know you have the show at 4, at 3 actually. So let me know.
Yeah, I absolutely will. As a matter of fact, I haven't seen you in such in a long time. Let me see what I can put together, and if I can get out there, maybe what I'll do is, instead of broadcasting live from there, maybe we'll just set up an archive show here. We can be over there, and we can actually do a recording that is not live that we can play at a later date.
Oh, that'd be great. Just let me know on that. That'd be a lot of fun, and as I said, it'd be a trial experience and see how it works out.
Sounds good. So I lost track of time. Oh, we're still good. It's interesting when I start talking to you, I forget to look at the clocks around here, and everything kind of goes haywire. So, John, what do you want to? Well, you've been sick, so you haven't got an awful lot of what's going on. Hey, listen, they're having the Christmas light ceremony at the White House this week, aren't they?
Yeah, they're having the Christmas lights, and it's the holidays, Bob. Oh my gosh, with Thanksgiving is just a few more weeks away, and you know what the third Thursday of November is?
Well, the third Thursday of November better be Thanksgiving.
Well, no, it's not. It's not. The Thanksgiving is on the 26th.
Oh, okay.
So the third Thursday, although, is the first release of Nouvelle Beaujolais.
Oh!
And it is a big party. It's a big celebration in France, of course. And we do celebrate it here in the United States, in California. A lot of restaurants do a special dinner on that Thursday. A lot of the wine shops actually have big sales on it, and there's usually a little tasting and so forth. But it's a lot of fun. And I figure we'll talk a little bit about Beaujolais as well, and coming up in the holidays, and some cocktails. But the great thing about being a week before Thanksgiving, Beaujolais, which is at the end of Burgundy, if you will, at the bottom southern part of Burgundy, what a great wine to celebrate with. Probably 95% of everybody has turkey on Thanksgiving. And Burgundy, Beaujolais, and Southern Rhone, that part of France, that is the ultimate wine for Turkey Day. And so we're celebrating the week before, coming out with the Nouvelle Beaujolais, and then we go right into the following Thursday into Thanksgiving. So it's a great celebration, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And if you can go out, see if you can find a wine shop or so that's doing a little release party. You get to try a lot of fun wines. But Beaujolais, it's its own animal, Bob. It is totally different. Beaujolais, of course, is at the southern part of Burgundy. You know, you have Côte de Nuit, Côte de Beaune, and come down to Macon, Court Chardonnays, and then you get into where you get like the Pouilly Troussés, the Macons, and so forth. Just south of that, you hit Beaujolais. And you have 10 crude Beaujolais, and then, of course, the Nouvelle Beaujolais, and then just the Beaujolais AC. But little tidbit about Beaujolais. Beaujolais actually accounts for about half of all the Burgundy AC. So there's a lot of grapes planted down there. They get a lot of juice. Now, the alcohol is only about 10%. So it's lighter wine, lighter in alcohol as well, because of the process, the different process of making Beaujolais. And that is called Cambolic maceration. Do I have enough time to get into Cambolic maceration, Bob?
We have 8 minutes.
8 minutes. Okay, great. That's more than enough time. Okay, so let me kind of briefly explain what Cambolic maceration is. And what it does, it gives you a light tan, light color wine. And there's no pressing. What it is, they put it in a big vat. And at the top of the vat, there's little pressure valves to release the pressure. And what happens, the pressure of the grapes on each other creates the friction and starts the fermentation process. So what it does, the pressure starts building up because the grapes start a little fermentation starts in that tank, and as it expands with all that pressure that's being released, it crushes the grapes, and you get this light tannin, because it's not you don't have a lot of skin contact there. It's a lot of 3-1 juice, and it just comes out. Now, the top valves, it just releases the pressure so the tank doesn't blow up. So just little pressure comes out, so there's enough pressure to press the grapes just with its own fermentation process. And you get this light, lovely wine, low on tannins, hardly any tannins. You don't have the skin contact, so it's a lighter red wine, of course, lighter in alcohol, and just easy to drink wine. I mean, you can just drink this wine. It goes great, of course, for Thanksgiving. I would go with perhaps a little something more than just a Nouvelle Beaujolais. I love Burgundy, Southern Rhone, and crude Beaujolais. Now, there are 10 crude Beaujolais out there. And my favorite is Fleury. But to list all 10, you have Saint-Amour, Julianus, Chenas, Moulin Avant, which means windmill, Charrobles, Morgon, Bruy, Côte de Bruy, and Reyna. That's your 10 crude Beaujolais. And it still goes through Cambolic maceration, but not like Nouvelle Beaujolais, where you want to drink it right away. You can actually sit on a crude Beaujolais for a couple years, and it does get better. It's a great wine, especially around the holidays. And it's really, even though it's a crude Beaujolais, they don't really get too expensive. I mean, they're getting up to $50, $60, where Nouvelle Beaujolais, I mean, you can get for $5, $6. I mean, it's just an entry wine. It's a lot of fun, and crude Beaujolais are just amazing. But as I said, the holidays are coming, and as I said, that's one of the great wines for Thanksgiving. We always do a wine pairing for Thanksgiving. My personal favorite, I know your favorite wine is Chateauneuf de Pape.
Oh, yeah.
And I tell you, that would probably be my pick for turkey dinner is a Chateauneuf de Pape because I like to eat a little more bigger, turkey, of course, but the other items that go with Turkey Day too. I like just a little bigger wine, and that Chateauneuf de Pape is perfect for me. I know it's perfect for you, but you can also do like a Baccarat, which is also Southern Rhone. You can just do a Côte de Rhone, which would be a lighter Southern Rhone.
Well, Côte de Rhone is very much like Chateauneuf de Pape, right?
Oh yeah, same area, same grapes. It's just usually not as big. Chateauneuf de Pape is just a little bigger. You have a little more tannins, a little more bite to the wine, where the Côte de Rhone is just going to be a little lighter style of like a Chateauneuf de Pape. But basically the same combination of grapes, mostly Grenache-based blend. And with Chateauneuf de Pape, you can blend up to 13 different grapes in there. And there are some actually white grapes that they actually blend into Chateauneuf de Pape as well. And you do have some Chateauneuf de Papes that are 100% Grenache. Some big ones that are 100% Grenache. But I just love that particular area for Turkey Day. And, this is the start of the holidays, beginning of Christmas. And on the second part of the show, Bob, what I got some response from talking to people out there is that, hey, we were talking about cocktails. How do you actually make some of these cocktails? So we're going to go over, since the holidays are coming on the next part of the show, we're going to go over some cocktails, how to make certain cocktails, and get ready to start partying for the holidays.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. So, listen, you want to take a break a little early and come back with that, or you want to talk for another 3 minutes?
Well, we can just jabber.
So let's talk about the holidays. Are you going to have Are you doing the cooking? Or are you going to have the family over? What's going to happen for the holidays for you guys?
Well, it's a big day at the restaurant. Being at Disney, a lot of people actually do go to Disney for the holidays. So what we do, Raina usually goes to her mom's house and do a family thing over there. Zach usually goes to his mom's house. And it's an early day because we opened early and we stopped serving at 8 o'clock instead of 10 o'clock. So I actually get home at a decent time. And we do a late, more just leftovers, but a nice little late dinner. Nothing big, as I said, just basically leftovers. But we do open a nice bottle of wine. As I said, usually it would be a nice Chateauneuf de Pape or something that we're going to open with our little leftover turkey. So it'd be like a second little dinner to Zach, myself, and Rena, and probably a little Avery as well, of course, when I get home from work.
So let me ask you, when it's a holiday, whether it be Christmas or New Year's or Thanksgiving or Easter or whatever it might be, and you're at Disney and you're working, do the chefs at Disney do something special for the help? Do they have a back room where they put some food there for you guys to munch on, or are you just like another day?
Well, usually on the major holidays, we have a set menu. So they do make an abundance of it, and especially on Thanksgiving, there's plenty of turkey and everything left over, and that goes to the staff. So we get to enjoy a little dinner there, and we get to try it, of course, the food before we start service. So we do like a little light thing before service. You get to try it so we can explain the dishes to the guests, and then afterwards there's always a little left over that when we stop working, we all sit there and just have a little something to eat, and then we go home. As I say, I try not to eat too much because I want to have a little appetite when I get home.
Of course.
And we do it just because Zach and Ray, they usually eat around 2 or 3. So by the time I get home, like about 9:30 or so, they're a little hungry. So we just do a nice little quick little dinner, have a little pie for dessert, put a nice bottle of wine, and that's our Thanksgiving.
Well, that sounds wonderful. We usually do a big Thanksgiving thing here, but my granddaughter Riley Logan is at NYU, and so she's been invited to a friend's house on Long Island, so she won't be coming home for Thanksgiving. She couldn't get away from school for that long, and Jake has decided that he can't make Thanksgiving this year because he's going to be with his new girlfriend at her parents' house, and my son Bob Bob is going to be in Montana with his significant other visiting her parents. And so it's going to be just 6 of us over here. And so I got a phone call from my son-in-law, Rich, the other night. And he says, hey, Papa, he says, unless you're going to be disappointed about not having, fixing the big thing over at the house, how about this year I take everybody over to the Hotel Del, and I'll make reservations at the Imperial Crown Room, and we'll have Thanksgiving at the Hotel Del. And I said, boy, that
sounds great.
It sure does. That's what we're going to do. We're going to we're going to spend Thanksgiving at the Hotel Del, spend the night there, and which means that I can have more wine, right? Because I don't have to. I can walk, right?
Exactly. Bob, you don't have to prepare the dinner or anything.
I don't.
Look for it here.
But you know what? I'll tell you though. Having said that, John, when we get home, I'm still going to fix a turkey. I love leftover turkey.
Yeah, so do I. There's nothing like it.
Okay, we got to go on a break, John. When we come back, we'll talk about how to mix drinks. We'll be right back with my good buddy John Hanson and that little old wine drinker. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're talking to my good buddy, John Hanson, that little old wine drinker. And John's going to talk about how do you mix cocktails. Hey, John, you got the microphone, my friend.
Well, thanks, Bob. As we get into the holiday season, everybody's in the partying mood. And of course, you have your holiday parties with Christmas parties, New Year's Eve, and so forth. So, what a lot of people have to do today is actually go over some cocktails. And this is actually, you have different books out there. You have the Boston Guide. There's a lot of cocktail books out there that may vary in ingredients and so forth. But we're going to do basically the basic cocktails, and I'm just going to ramble on for a little bit. We'll start at the beginning. We'll start with the A's. We're going to do an Americano. Americano is 1 part Campari, 1 part sweetened and soda water. Kind of an old school cocktail, but used to be popular, but actually is starting to come back. Of course, maybe in the morning hours, you want to do the Bloody Mary. Bloody Mary, of course, is 1 part vodka, 1 part or baby-sized bottle of tomato juice, 2 to 3 dashes of Worcestershire sauce, and a dash of lemon juice. Now, of course, if you want to spice it up a bit, you could add a little Tabasco or whatever spice you want to use to make it a little more spicy. What we like to do, of course, is a little champagne cocktail, and that is 1 glass of dry champagne. You have a tablespoon of cognac, a sugar cube or a packet of sugar, and a little goose of bitters with that as well. And top it with a little twist. One of the more popular drinks out there, of course, is Cosmopolitan. That's usually one of the most sought-after drinks at bars, and that is 1 part of vodka. You have 1 part of cranberry juice, Cointreau, triple sec, an orange liqueur, if you will, and then fresh lime juice with that. Cuba Libre, always a favorite in the summertime. But also a lot of people drink it during the holidays, and that is 1 part white rum. You have your lime, squeeze of lime, and Coca-Cola. Daiquiris, of course, you can do different daiquiris, fruit daiquiris, and basically any kind of fruit daiquiris you can do. But regular daiquiris, of course, 3/4 white rum, 1/4 fresh lime juice, and 3 dashes of simple syrup. You shake it and strain it, if you will. Harvey Wallbanger, and that's a drink from the past, but a lot of people still drink that, believe it or not. And that's 1 part vodka. You have 1 part orange juice, and then 1/2 measure of Galliano. You don't see Galliano that much. Other cocktails, let's see, what do we have here? We have a Tom Collins, also known as John Collins, and that is 1 part of London dry gin. You have 1 squeeze of medium lime, 1 tablespoon of simple syrup, and soda water. Kers, another drink. You do Kir Royale with champagne or Kir with wine, and that's a mix of cream de cassis. What also is popular is Chambord, which is a black raspberry liqueur from France.
Oh, I love Chambord over vanilla ice cream.
Oh my gosh, with some fresh raspberries, that's incredible.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Well, there's a dessert thing for the holidays right there, Bob.
Yeah.
Kir Royale, of course, is basically the same with champagne. That's one of Raina's favorite drinks is Kir Royale. She also likes to mix Grand Marnier, or of course, going back to Italy, we do, of course, the
Bellini.
Bellini, thank you, Bob. Thank you.
I just wanted to help. I just wanted to help a little bit, John.
My mind was stuttering there. That's Bellini's, where we actually got kicked out of a bar.
You know what? You and I have got to be the only 2 people on earth to be kicked out of a bar before we even had a chance to get in.
And Bob, the thing is, we were nicely dressed.
Yeah.
But,
except
we weren't. We weren't offensive by no means, but the thing about that one instance, Bob, there was nobody in the bar.
Yeah.
It was just us 4.
You know what? It was John and his lovely wife, Raina, my wife, Marlene, and me, and we were going into Harry's bar in Venice. that's known for Bellinis, and that's what we were going there for to have a Bellini. And John and I were wearing tasteful shorts, Bermuda shorts, tasteful shorts. We had nice shirts on. We had shoes, the whole 9 yards. They would let the girls in, but they wouldn't let us in because we didn't have long pants. And like John said, the bar was empty.
We were the only 4 people there. That was crazy. And actually, I think we were even a little nicer dressed than the girls. The girls had like sleeveless shirts and shorts.
Yeah.
And we had at least collared shirts on and so forth. And, I mean, it wasn't offensive to anybody, but I just didn't understand, since there was nobody in there, why couldn't we just get one drink? If somebody comes in, you can ask us to leave. But
later that night, John, you made up for it, because the 4 of us we reserved 2 gondolas, one for my wife and I, and one for John and his wife. And John brought a stash of Prosecco and cheese. And we had the 2 gondolas just kind of sticking around side by side, and we went for this magnificent tour of the canals and the Grand Canal, drinking Prosecco and eating cheese and having a great time and listening to all the music and stuff. You saved the day, my friend.
Well, I tell you, we still have a big picture of you and Marlene that's hanging on our wall of that evening. It was a fun evening, most incredible evening.
Oh man! And we had a nice dinner that night. We went to the Caravel for dinner that night before we went out on the gondolas.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
And of course,
it's one of your favorite restaurants, Sarah.
Do you remember, we were going to go, and I can't Pieces, I think was the name of the restaurant that we were going to go to one night. And except that they required a dress shirt, and I didn't have a dress shirt with me. And so I went shopping, and of course Venice is a place you don't really want to go shopping. And so I found this haberdashery where I bought this semi-custom shirt, because I couldn't find one that would fit me, and they had to tailor it to me. Paid a god-awful fortune for this shirt so that I could have a dress shirt for dinner. And John and Raina and my wife and I, we walk into this Las Pieces, I think is the name of it. Beautiful restaurant right on the Grand Canal. And the restaurant was full of guys in T-shirts and shorts. I wanted to kill somebody for what that cost.
I believe, Bob, that shirt was $300.
It was. I just wanted to wrap that shirt around somebody's neck and pull tight. But aside from that, we did have a wonderful time, just a wonderful time. Matter of fact, we started off we met with John and Raina. We didn't actually go to Venice together. We met there, and we were staying in one hotel, and John and Raina were staying in another at the Metropole, I think it was, and. Yeah. And so Marty and I walked on over there to meet with them, and John had set up hors d'oeuvres. He had this beautiful, he had Prosecco and cheese and all kinds of stuff. We went to his room. In his room, on the back side of it, there was this little door with these steps that went out. And so he opens the door. We go up the steps. It's on the roof of the hotel, overlooking the Grand Canal. And John has laid out this Prosecco. And for those of you that don't know what that is, that's Italian champagne, only you can't call it champagne. And he had 3 or 4 different kinds of cheeses. I want to tell you, you just didn't want to leave it. It was so romantic, so beautiful, and it was so good. Man, what an evening, John.
Oh, and the view. Remember we were watching the cruise ships pull in as well. I mean, it's just unbelievable on top of the Metropole Hotel, and just overlooking the Grand Canal and the waterways where the cruise ships just came in, and it was just amazing. And it was a perfect evening too. It was gorgeous out.
Yeah. Now you were talking about Bellinis earlier, and I when I have guests over, I actually make what I refer to as a mock Bellini, because I don't use fresh peaches or that kind of stuff, but I'll go out and I'll get some champagne and some a peach liqueur, and I'll make it's a champagne cocktail, what it really is. But then if it was in Italy, they'd call it a Bellini, and I'd stick because you can't always get fresh peaches. I'd just stick a strawberry in there, and we'd start off that way, and everybody loves that drink. And it's a nice way to start an evening. It's a fancy way to start the evening and get the conversation going.
Well, I tell you, one place that really impressed me, and it was funny because we were so disappointed when we went there, was the Brio. But their frozen Bellini, that was so delicious, especially in a hot day out there in Rancho Cucamonga.
Yeah.
I mean, it was funny because when we were coming back from Victorville, working on the houses during the summer, we would come down there and just stop at the Brio just to get some of those frozen Bellinis.
Yeah. Their appetizers were good. As I recall, remember the four of us ate there one evening, and boy, I didn't care much for their main courses, but their appetizers were really good.
Yeah, it started off so good. I mean, the appetizers are great. The Bellini was amazing. And then when we got to dinner, what happened? They just totally went south.
Yeah.
And, it was actually the food, the entrees weren't good at all, but as I said, the appetizers were great, the Bellini was amazing, and unfortunately, we should have stayed right there, just had the appetizers and the Bellini.
Yeah, and we could have easily done that. What they need is a new chef, because it's a beautiful restaurant, and it's just, it used to be a Barnes & Noble bookstore. And they completely redecorated this thing and put it in columns, and it's just a beautiful restaurant. And we thought we had a winner because it was the four of us in there, and we had our cocktails, and then we had hors d'oeuvres. The hors d'oeuvres were big enough. Each plate of hors d'oeuvres was big enough for four of us, and we were doing really great. We couldn't hardly wait for the main course to come, and that's where they let us down. They didn't do good on the main course at all. The service was good, but the main courses weren't.
Yeah, the ambiance was nice, the service was good, the appetizers were great, the Bellini was amazing, and it just went south with the entrees. And that's another reason why, we talked about Yelp before. I don't pay attention to Yelp because we were looking up on Yelp, and there was a lot of great responses, on there. But as I said, on Yelp, you don't know who's critiquing the dining experience.
And that's exactly right, John. You know what? You and I might give it one kind of a rating or criticism, and somebody who doesn't go out to eat very often might give it a different one. You know what I mean? The antithesis of the Brio is the Anaheim White House.
Mm-hmm.
That's like day and night. But, the Anaheim White House is it is the most beautiful, romantic experience a couple could ever want. And the food, and the bar and everything else is just magnificent. And everybody is just really friendly there.
Absolutely. They go out of their way for us, especially.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess I took this off. I took this in another direction. Didn't mean to do that to you.
Do we still have some time left? Or?
Yeah. Listen, you know what my favorite drink is. I love brandy with just a splash of amaretto over ice. But another drink that I used to drink, as I say, a lot. You can't drink a lot of it. Is a rusty nail, and a rusty nail is one of those drinks where watch out, because that's just you can only drink one of those, and maybe not even one of them. And what it is it's half Drambuie and half Scotch over ice. It tastes absolutely fantastic, but it will knock you on your ass.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh yes. Yes, indeed it will. A lot of the classic drinks like Manhattan. It's basically an ounce and a half of whiskey, and then you got 3/4 of sweet vermouth and just a dash of bitters. You have a couple of those, you'll be feeling good as well. Talking about illegal, Bob.
Well, we're unfortunately we're 2 seconds away from being done talking. How about a wine of the day or the week?
Wine of the day of the week. Well, when I went to Napa Valley, we did actually I did a little interview with John Wolfiga, and we're going to do the Alpha Omega Cabernet as the wine pick of the week. He's just doing some incredible stuff up there, and I tell you, he is an amazing winemaker. You know, he was at Newton before. He learned his trade in France at Lynchbach. So incredible winemaker. The guy is doing some fun stuff. And I tell you, what a great Cabernet. We've had Sonia on the show, who's a distributor of Alpha Omega. She now has her own little wine shop here in downtown Anaheim. But you can also, of course, get it there at the Colonial Wine Shop in Anaheim, to give Sandra a little plug there.
Okay.
But do look for Alpha Omega. It is an amazing wine.
I'm going to give it a shot. John, fantastic show, my friend. I'm really happy you're feeling better, and I'll give you a buzz tomorrow about Thursday. And if we can't do it, I'll certainly talk to you next Monday.
Sounds good.
All right, buddy. Take care. Now, do not go away. When we come back, we're going to do the happy birthdays for the day, the secret daily teachings for your life, the Harvard business tip of the day, and interesting but useless facts. We'll be right back after these brief messages. Do not go away.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchase high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:42 p.m. Pacific time, currently 64 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, you know, it's time for me to give you the Harvard business tip of the day. And the management tip today is, don't be afraid of managing people who are smarter than you. Yep. You know, the best managers hire smart people to work with them. But what if your direct reports are smarter than you? Well, how do you manage people who have more experience or knowledge? Consider whether your fears are based in reality. Insecurity can affect your interactions with your own team, so don't ignore feelings of self-doubt and reach out to other managers for advice. Share your concerns and ask how they've handled similar situations. And give and take feedback. Don't try to evaluate your direct reports on areas where you have no knowledge. Stick to areas where you have authority and tell your employees that you're comfortable receiving feedback from them. And empower your employees. Use your skills to support them in their goals and give them room to do what they do best. And then finally, project confidence, but not too much. Be calm and respectful and take yourself and others seriously. You know, that's a system that really works. That's the same kind of a system that the President of the United States makes when he needs help, because he doesn't know everything. That's why he surrounds himself with experts that actually do. And then by doing that, those experts can give him good counsel and he can make up his mind about what's going on. Well, you know what today is, right? Sure you do. Today is Monday, November the 9th, and it's somebody's birthday. Oh, yeah. You know what? And today's a special birthday. It's somebody that I just used to really love listening to, and just a magnificent astronomer and astrochemist, an author, and highly successful popularizer of all of his theories about space. This was a guy that got Neil deGrasse Tyson involved, an astrophysicist. Happy birthday, Carl Sagan. He was born in 1934, passed away in 1996. Well, here's somebody you all know. He's born in 1951. He's a bodybuilder and actor who appeared as Bill Bixby's bulky alter ego, the Hulk. Happy birthday, Lou Ferrigno. And today, it's Nick Lackey's birthday. He was born in 1973, singer and actor who rose to fame as a member of the band 98 Degrees. He started in the TV series with his then-wife, Jessica Simpson. Well, what happened today in history? I can tell you that in 1906, Theodore Roosevelt is the very first sitting president of the United States to make an official trip outside of the country. He did so to inspect progress on the Panama Canal. And on November the 9th, 1967, the first issue of Rolling Stone magazine was actually published. And in 1990, Mary Robinson is elected Ireland's first female president and the first from the Labour Party. Well, our quote for today comes from the Dalai Lama. He says, all major religious traditions carry basically the same message. That is, love, compassion, and forgiveness. The important thing is that they should be part of our daily lives. Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's time now for the secret daily teachings for your life. And this is all about a positive mental attitude. You've heard me talk about it many, many times. So let me give it to you again. Religions such as Hinduism, Hermetic traditions, Buddhism, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, and civilizations such as the ancient Babylonians and Egyptians delivered the secret, the law of attraction, through their writings and stories. Recorded throughout the ages in all its forms, the law can be found in ancient writings through all the centuries. It was recorded in stone in 3000 BC, even though some coveted this knowledge, and indeed they did. It has always been there for anyone to discover. The law began at the beginning of time. It has always been and will be and always will be. Yes, as above, so below, as within, so without. Go figure. Well, it's time for interesting but useless facts. And let's start off with this one. You know, although jellyfish and crayfish have the word fish in their name, they aren't actually fish. There you go. How about this? On an American $1 bill, there is an owl in the upper left-hand corner of the 1 encased in the shield and a spider hidden in the front upper right-hand corner. Think about that. Or Justin Timberlake's half-eaten French toast sold for over $3,000 on eBay. Go figure. I would never go that far. Did you know the word maverick came into use after Samuel Maverick, a Texan, refused to brand his cattle? Eventually, any unbranded calf became known as a maverick. So now you know where the origination of that saying came from. Did you also know that it's illegal to mispronounce the name of the state of Arkansas in that state? Well, makes sense for me. Let me leave you with this. The 1 gallon of used motor oil can ruin approximately 1 million gallons of fresh water. Now, there is something to think about. Yeah. Now, don't go away. When we come back, I'm going to answer your emails. The first email that I have is from Caitlin Mason from Irontown, Michigan, asking about withholding exemptions. And I'll tell you all about that right after these brief messages. Do not go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:52 p.m. Pacific time. Currently 64 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, we're coming down to the wire. It's time for our emails. I want to remind you that this is an entertainment section of the show, so we do our best to answer your questions thoroughly, but sometimes the information you send us is just a little sketchy. So we always encourage you to contact a licensed professional. They're always going to save you more money than they cost you, and they're going to give you peace of mind that you sleep at night, and those are the good things. But anyway, let's get right to it. My first email today comes from Caitlin Mason from Ironton, Michigan, asking about withholding exemptions, and says, I incurred a big business loss that will wipe out most of my tax bill for the year. I want to file a new W-4 taking enough withholding exemptions to eliminate the tax withheld from my pay, but I've been told that if I take more than 10, it must be reported to the IRS and will invite an audit. Is this true? Well, Caitlin, you don't have to be concerned about this. The IRS used to require that employers report it to it whenever an employee took more than 10 withholding exemptions. But the current requirement is that employers only need to submit W-4s if the IRS requests them. Now, the IRS may then limit how many exemptions that you're actually allowed. Now, you can and should take any number of withholding exemptions that you are entitled to in order to balance your tax payments for the year with your tax liability for the year. You know what? Just don't pay a god-awful penny more than you actually owe. That's the way you want to have it. My next email comes from Alexander Menezes from Pittsburgh, Massachusetts, asking about inherited bonds, and says, I inherited thousands of dollars worth of Series EE savings bonds from my mother. Is all of the interest on them taxed to me, even though most of it was earned before she died? So here's the deal, Alex. Interest on Series EE savings bonds generally is taxable when they mature or are cashed in, but the owner can elect to pay tax on the interest every year. Now, if your mother made this election, then only interest earned after she died is going to be taxable to you. Now, find out if she made the election by looking at her personal tax returns to see if they reported the interest annually. Now, similarly, your mother's estate could have elected to pay tax on all the interest earned until her death, leaving only the later earned interest taxable to you. So ask the executor about that. If neither election was made, all of the interest on those bonds is going to be taxable to you. But there's a break here. If her estate paid estate taxes, a portion is an itemized deduction for you, ameliorating the impact of reporting the interest. But that's if you itemize your taxes. And, only about 25% of the country actually does that. Now, next email comes from Avery Mees from Bradenton, Florida, asking about tax obligations when abroad. And she writes, if I go on an extended foreign vacation or around the world cruise, how are the IRS tax notices sent to me? And how should my tax filing obligations be handled while I'm gone? It's a great question, Avery. And you know what? If you are outside of the United States on vacation as opposed to living and working outside the United States, your tax filing obligations are the same as if you were at home. But today, it is easy to prepare and file your tax return by computer from almost anywhere in the world, and you can, of course, get an automatic 6-month filing extension. Now, before leaving home, it can be a good idea to name a trusted agent, such as your tax pro, to receive notices from the IRS. Instruct the IRS to send copies of all tax notices to your agent by filing IRS Form 8821. That's Tax Information Authorization. For more information on this, go to IRS's publication 54, that's Tax Guide for U.S. Citizens and Resident Aliens Abroad, and that'll answer all your questions. And then finally, my last email comes from Gabriela Oliveras from Faro, Oklahoma, asking about separate but equal in rights. When when a married couple files separate returns, can one spouse itemize deductions and the other take the standard deduction? Well, Gabriella, unfortunately, the answer to your question is no. Spouses who file separate returns must treat deductions in the same manner. If one spouse itemizes, so must the other. This is sometimes a problem with estranged spouses, so you got to be really, really careful with it. Now, I want to thank you for listening to Robert Cardoza Live at the intersection of business and politics. Robert Cardoza Live broadcasts on Spreaker Radio, Roar, 1776 Radio, MyCast Live Radio, and countless terrestrial stations worldwide every Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific Time, and on 405 Media Radio Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Pacific Time. Also, the Pundit Press, PNN Talk Radio, and SHR Media Radio with John Matthews and the Conservative Syndicate every Monday and Friday from 3:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. Pacific Time. Please follow me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, Podomatic, and YouTube, where you can listen to all of my shows 24/7. Go to my website at www.robertcardozalive.com and email me at robertcardozalive@gmail.com. That's where you get all the emails I deal with here on the show. Now, on my next show, Sean LaFave is going to continue his series, Geared for Wellness, and Suzette Mailer will present a journalistic statement. I encourage you to tell all of your friends about my show here on the RLC Broadcasting Network.
That's our show for today. Beginning today, treat everyone you meet as if they were going to be dead by midnight. Extend them all the care, kindness, and understanding that you can muster. Your life will never be the same again. So many of our dreams at first seem impossible, then they seem improbable, and then when we summon the will, they soon become inevitable. You know, the real secret of happiness is to make others believe that they're the cause of it. Robert Cardoza Live is brought to you by blogtalkradio.com every Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Now, go out and make it a great day. Your host has been Robert Cardoza, the technical advisor, Matchstick Digital, and your executive producer, also Robert Cardoza.
Okay, everybody, that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed today's show as much as I enjoyed producing it for you. This is our first simulcast with John Matthews and his Conservative Syndicate and his co-host, Joe Hakos. We're going to be doing that every Monday and Friday from now on, and so that adds a lot of new stations to us. Just want to remind you that you can always listen to us on Spreaker Radio. Just search Robert Cardoza Live or get my app. That's the best way. Go to your Apple Store and search Robert Cardoza Live. It's absolutely free. You can listen to us live or listen to our archives. They're right there. And if you have a Android or a Windows program, just go to googleplay.com and search Robert Cardoza Live. The app is free. We encourage you to download it and tell all your friends about it. In the meantime, I want you to stay safe. I want you to be good. I want you to be happy. And the last thing I have to say to you is make everybody's life better because you're in it. Good night, everybody.